Joining us now, Guggenheim's head of healthcare investment banking, Mehta. Puneet, thank you for being here. I guess we'll just start there. Is this the start of a turnaround? Obviously, regulation has been in focus. Price discovery has been in focus as buyers and sellers try to agree upon a certain level by which to do a deal. Are some of those previous issues and headwinds kind of working their way through the system now?
Yeah, I do see 2023 as a return to a steady state of M&A activity in the sector. We saw a dip in 2020 and 2021, and I think we've seen a little bit of a reversion this year. The fundamentals for M&A in the sector remain really strong. There's a large number of consolidators that are constantly looking to replenish their revenues and grow their revenues. And so I think that the fundamentals are great. And I think the one very important difference now versus, say, 10 years ago is a lot of the large consolidators think of M&A as a part of their business model rather than in addition to their business model. And so these players are seeing innovation as either that generated inside their companies or acquired from outside. And so as that trend has very well established, I think the M&A activity will remain pretty constant from here on.
You spoke about the fundamentals driving M&A at this point in time. Weight loss drugs have been a very buzzy topic. We actually teased this segment. I can't remember if it was earlier in this hour or last hour as being, the AI for the biopharma industry. How are you seeing that shaping up in conversations you're having with clients? Is it something where you're going to see more horizontal M&A in order to just get exposure to it, or vertical integration? Kind of how is an M&A playbook helpful here?
Yeah, I mean, look, the whole Clip 1 movement could be a watershed moment for the industry, primarily because it may be one of the first drug classes that may be north of $40–50 billion in revenue opportunities. And so the sheer scope of this class is what differentiates it from a lot of other things that we've seen. And the fact that it impacts not only people with serious disease like diabetes, but a lot of people, even younger population, who's looking for some weight loss, and brings into the fold the elements of wellness and quality of life. And so just the scope of this category of drugs is so wide that I think we are seeing this being slightly different from what we've seen in recent past. I think it will spur on, ultimately, more activity. I think the market is forming literally as we speak. I think it will soon become important, it will become apparent where potential interesting areas of differentiations emerge. You will also see a lot of the clinical stage programs that are starting to emerge in either biotechs or in other pharmas start to show differentiations from the two leaders that we see in the market. As all of those converge, I do suspect that there will be a fair amount of activity. But I think fundamentally the reason this is different is it combines both treating diseases with addressing wellness, which is a very important theme. And actually, one of our heads of equity has written several reports on the convergence of wellness and medicine, and I think that is an important driver here.
There's also the conversation as to whether or not the regulatory environment has inflected in some way, or if Amgen's an example of that. Do you think it's going to get easier from here or harder?
I don't really see signs of it getting easier necessarily. In some ways, the fact that the deal did go through, it demonstrates that there's a pathway of still getting this done. What I think it will do is it may change some dance partners. Like, not everybody can perhaps acquire every company. But I don't see it perhaps stopping M&A because the fundamental need remains really high. The other thing that is important is in deal negotiations, how contracts are negotiated around things like regulatory approvals, et cetera, are becoming a more important point. But again, I think it will perhaps change dance partners. It doesn't necessarily won't put a pause on activity.